Hey everyone, Scott Hansen here from NFL Red Zone, and you're watching the Super Fantasy Bros podcast. 1 hour of commercial-free podcasting starts now. Enjoy the show.
All right. Welcome back to the Super Fantasy Bros podcast, brought to you in conjunction with Old City Sports Network, as always. After today, we will already be through 8 of the NFL divisions.
Why?
And we are now only 63 days away from the start of the NFL season. 9 weeks until football is back. Today, we're wrapping up the NFC West with the Rams and the Niners. Throughout the episode, obviously, feel free to hit us up with questions. If you're here with us live, we'll get through them throughout the episode, and we will wrap up with some trivia with Q as always. But let's get started today with the Los Angeles Rams. Starting at the top of their roster, Matthew Stafford, QB1, took a pretty huge step back after their Super Bowl appearance. To be fair, we knew he kind of was a risk heading into the season with elbow tendonitis. Slowly got worse, ended up getting shut down. Which version of Stafford do we get this season? 2021 staff or this past season staff?
I feel like I repeated like every pod once we found out about the tendonitis. Like I was like saying like this is a concern, and I won't say Matt didn't listen, but he did draft him and ended up losing him and Cooper Kupp. So not on him. I think that we get more similar to Super Bowl Matthew Stafford, or at least Matthew Stafford of old when he's slinging it. But I think there's obviously some risk there because this Rams team isn't as good as years past.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with Cooper Kupp coming back, it's going to be a huge upgrade. So,
yeah, I completely agree as well. I think obviously he took a little bit of a step back, was a bit banged up. I'm not super high on him heading into the draft. Like I'm not like, let me get Matt Stafford again. He is him. But I do definitely think he still has the potential to be a top quarterback.
He's like back to that last round. Like in previous years, he would just be like that last round pickup who would be like good stash. But so because last year he was like you wanted him as a starter, like minus like the risks of the injury, but now he's back to where he was previously, like in Detroit.
Yeah, I think towards the end of his Detroit tenure, I think that's where he's going to kind of slot in. I think maybe like QB 12 through 15, maybe 18 at like the worst. Like not like
12 is his like ceiling.
Yeah, that's like the ceiling. Like low end QB1 at best is kind of staff right now. Yeah. So we shall see how staff proceeds throughout the offseason. Make sure he's good to go, obviously. But let's check on the running backs. This backfield has not been the same since Todd Gurley left a few years back. Darrell Henderson, Cam Akers both tried to replace him. Showed some promise. No better than an RB2, really, though. Henderson is gone. It may be Akers' time to get some shine. First full shot, not much competition. Kyron Williams, Sony Michel, and 6th-round rookie Zach Evans. Where did you rank Akers, and is he a target for you this year?
While I look for my rank, I'll just say I don't like him as a target. That's just me. I won't be surprised if he ends up like doing all right, but I'm definitely not going into the draft like looking for him.
Yeah, currently I have him at 21, and I'm just going to spoil and say that he's my target when we get to that point in the show. Because when he had Baker last year, a quarterback compared to whoever they had when Stafford was out, the last 3 weeks of the season, Cam Akers was putting up some good numbers, 34, 14, and then 15 to finish out in week 18. So obviously if there's a better quarterback, he can perform a lot better. And with no Darrell Henderson and just scrubs behind him at the moment, I'm sure that he could get inside that top 20.
Yeah, so, I mean, I have him at 25. I don't think he's going to be terrible. I don't think he's going to be like bad, but
I've always been sleeping on him, but that's just because Darrell would be flip-flopping with him, and it would be him that does well, and then they do a hot hand, and he'll take over the next game and then just go back and forth. But now it's just him.
I am going to take the opposite stance here. I am not in on Cam Akers this year. I have him at RB31, outside my top 30. Just Haven't been a fan since he's come into the league. Not been like a super believer in the talent. He's been banged up here and there. Obviously, he's had a major injury with his Achilles. It's awesome that he's been able to come back and able to still perform at a high level. But still makes me nervous. He hasn't really shown that he's like fully healthy, can fully handle a workload as the RB1. I know they really don't have much behind him. It's kind of short. So I think that's the major benefit for drafting Akers this year. Right. You're just hoping for the volume there, but the Rams backfield still hasn't been that valuable since Stafford's been there. Even when it was at its peak, Darrell Henderson at his best was like RB 15. And like, I think that's like Cam Akers' absolute ceiling. I think he could obviously be an RB2 this year for you, but I am not taking the risk this year. I'm staying away from Cam Akers. Burned me a couple times when I've tried to be like, you know what? Let me see what Cam Akers can do. And he has not showed up for me. So passing on Cam Akers personally. All right. Last question here before we get into some cap or no cap for the Rams. Tyler Higbee started off the season great this past year.
Always
looked like a steal, slowed down for a long while. Obviously, Stafford getting injured did not help. Had a couple of good games to end the season. He did somehow manage to finish tight end 6 this past year. Is this something he can replicate with Stafford back, or are you looking elsewhere for tight ends?
Probably looking elsewhere, but because he'll probably start out hot again. So I guess if you want that little boost to the beginning of the season, draft him as like towards the end. But I'm not trusting him.
I'm looking for him. I'm looking for because
I feel like he doesn't.
No, because if you're someone like me who doesn't draft like tight ends high and just kind of like hopes that you land like a nice little like dart throw, like Tyler Higbee's like the creme de la creme of like could be all right tight ends. So I'm down. I'm with him.
I feel like you're high on him beginning of every season, and then towards the end, you're just I hate Tyler Higbee.
That's probably going to happen again, but he'll get me a win or two.
Yeah, if we go back to the like week 8 recap or something, T-Gods is probably full chaos on Tyler Higbee.
Oh yeah, I definitely hated him. New season. I definitely do think he could be a value draft piece where he's currently being drafted. I am a tight end 18, so I'm definitely not high on him, definitely not targeting him. But if you wait on tight end and then drafting, you're looking for a second guy to pick up with another guy you drafted later, maybe like you picked up Cole Kmet or Greg Dulcich or maybe even like Freiermuth or Smith, that kind of range, or even pair Tyler Higbee with like rookie Sam Laporta or Kincaid just to see what they could do. I think that's a perfectly fine move. I think Higbee has some decent standalone value, and the pass catchers that have been on the Rams the past few years where like Higbee was always option 3 or option 4. He could honestly has an argument that he's the number 2 option right now in this passing offense.
Good.
Yeah.
It's Cooper Kupp, and then the wide receivers after that aren't that great. We'll touch on them in a bit. And then it's Higbee. So he could definitely find some more volume this year. Speaking of Cooper Kupp, let's move on to some cap or no cap. Cooper Kupp is still being underdrafted at wide receiver 4, 5th overall in drafts right now. Cap or no cap?
No cap.
I think it's being properly drafted. Don't ask me about anything else outside of Justin Jefferson because I feel like I'm sleeping on Jamar Chase, but apparently he's second best. I do enjoy Cooper Kupp, so maybe I would go Jefferson, Chase, then Kupp.
Who's at 3?
Tyreek Hill, maybe.
Tyreek Hill, yeah, he's currently being drafted 4th, wide receiver 3.
Is Cooper Kupp said to be ready to go?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think he is.
I think he's good to go.
He's the second receiver then. No questions asked. They get.
Yeah, I have him at 3. I could easily move him up to 2. I looked at his numbers again from 2 years ago, and I was like, dude, how are we not ranking this guy?
He won me like him alone won me
Yeah, like just looking at those numbers again, I'm like, how do I have Jamar Chase reasonably and rationally over him? Like the only thing is like the baked in injury risk, obviously, because he got banged up last year. Any player can get injured on any given year. I don't think it's something that's going to show that he's going to be injury prone. I mean, he is now 30. Never like when a wide receiver turns 30, but he obviously is still Cooper Kupp, still a freak of nature. He could easily be just fine. The numbers he put up that year were just video game numbers. So I definitely think he's being underdrafted at wide receiver 4 after Tyreek Hill.
Love to get him at wide receiver 4. Like,
yeah,
swing that all day.
Yeah, I think ADP of 5 is even low too. Like he should probably be a minimum top 4 pick, if not top 3, depending on who you're looking at there. If you really want a running back, I guess you could go there, but Cooper Kupp is very good.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't hate it at all. Next one here, Stetson Bennett will take over for Matt Stafford at some point this season, not because of injury. Cap or no cap?
Cat. Staff's nice.
It'll only be because of injury.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah, I'm saying cap as well. Just wanted to get the temperature on Matt Stafford, but it seems like we are all happy that he's back. I think he will be a solid QB again this year.
That old ass rookie Stetson Bennett. It's like 40 years old.
It's like 90. It's like Brandon Weeden all over again. Brandon Weeden was so old. All right. Last cap or no cap, Van Jefferson should have a higher ADP than wide receiver 63 as the Rams' number 2 wide receiver with Stafford back.
Yeah.
I'm going to say cap too.
He's just very boomer bust.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm also going to say cap. I'm not in love with Van Jefferson this year. I've always been a believer in his talent, and I think this may be the year we could finally see like he's wide receiver 2. Let's say Higbee's struggling a little bit again, then like I said, he's got an argument as well to be the number 2 option on a pass offense that's probably going to have to pass a lot. So I don't hate it at all. If you want to target Van Jefferson, I think he's a good wide receiver 5 end of bench piece, but I don't think he's being necessarily
Should we play the name game a little bit with the receivers around 63?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
go ahead.
Ben Skowronek might be a guy.
Michael Gallup.
I think I'd take Van Jefferson.
You hate Gallup.
I do hate Gallup, but just thinking about Cooks being there too is like
I'm not. Sky Moore.
He's got some good reports coming out.
I know. I've heard.
Chiefs wide receivers aren't the worst.
Odell.
I'm taking Odell.
I know Q was going to say that immediately. I might just take Odell just for fun.
I'm taking Odell too.
Yeah.
Hunter Renfrow.
I'm taking Renfrow.
Yeah, I think I'm taking Renfrow there too. Yeah.
All right. One more. Romeo, however you guys want to pronounce his last name.
Dobbs.
All right.
I'll take Dobbs.
Yeah. I think I'm taking Dobbs as well. I think you have to. I think, Van Jefferson, his ADP is just fine.
Yeah.
He's just fine. He's a good, where you get him, I think you could get some value, but I'm not really reaching much higher than where he's already being drafted, which is already really low. So don't care that much. Before we do some bold takes, favorite targets for the Rams, quick question in the chat from Donovan Miller here. I took Travis Kelce last night in a 12-team PPR mock. Debated between Kelce and Eckler. Had to take Josh Jacobs in round 2 to have a decent running back. Thoughts? He was not pleased with the end product and had the 4th overall pick. At 4 there, I think I'm probably leaning Eckler if I'm going between Kelce and Eckler.
Yeah.
If it's those two, dude, if you can get, if I'm in a real draft and I'm getting Eckler at 4, I'm ecstatic.
Yeah. I still have Eckler as my RB2 this year. I still think he's going to be very solid. The Chargers used him a ton last year. Maybe he's not going to have as many catches. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams stay healthy. I don't think he's going to be as relied upon in the passing game, but I still think he's going to be a great PPR running back. So when you can get a top 3 running back at that spot, I don't hate it at all. Kelce, I prefer probably closer to 6 or 7 at the earliest for me, just in terms of where I would be you know what, let me actually consider taking Kelce here. I think I'd still at that point rather take, we just talked about, Cooper Kupp. If he's sitting there at 4, I think I'd rather take Cooper Kupp over Kelce there.
Yep.
I think I'd also rather take Jamar Chase, as we touched on, and maybe at that point where if I'm looking at Kelce and Tyreek Hill, that I would consider maybe take Kelce there.
It's crazy that this year you can be at pick 6 or 7 and still potentially get Austin Eckler just because of all the receivers that are going to go beforehand.
Yeah. The current ADP is definitely a little bit different than what we've seen the past few years, as we've touched on a few.
Imagine Eckler at 7.
insane.
Yeah. Juicy, dude. Juicy. I think it's going to change a lot as we get closer, but currently McCaffrey's going 3, and that's the first running back off the board. And Eckler's going 8.
Wow.
I
that makes sense.
I'm taking Eckler all day there. I have
100%.
Yeah. I have to. Dave also in the chat. What's up, goobers?
Hey, Dave.
Dave, you're the goober. All right, let's keep it rolling. Q, favorite target, bold take. What do you got for us for the Rams?
As I spoiled earlier, my favorite target is Cam Akers. As we mentioned earlier, he has no one competing for him in the backfield, and he gets Matthew Stafford back. I don't know if week 16 was when he had Baker come in at quarterback, but clearly something changed to where he was able to produce the final 3 weeks of the season. He didn't really do anything at the beginning, but whatever. Matt Stafford went out. This offense does nothing much besides Cooper Kupp, so I like Cam Akers. He'd be a solid RB2. I wouldn't depend on him anything more than that, but there's potential there with the backfield being his.
Yep. Already touched on him. So T-Gods, favorite target. What do we got?
Favorite target, as I also said too, Tyler Higbee. So last year he finished tight end 6, which, I mean,
pretty juicy.
Is pretty juicy. The year before that, when Cooper Kupp went crazy, he finished tight end 14. So I mean, if you could like average those 2 years together, somewhere around tight end like 9, and you're drafting him like in the later rounds, probably tight end like 12, 13, 14. He's probably going to do better than where you drafted him. And if you're someone like me who likes to wait for tight ends, then he's like the perfect like candidate to draft. Yeah, so I don't know. Like if I leave the draft and I get Tyler Higbee in like the 9th round when like all the tight ends are gone and like whatever, like I'm happy. I'm happy with him, but that's just me. That's my strategy. I don't really like going high on tight ends, so I don't
Definitely agree. I think Higbee can be a steal late in drafts for sure. I'll wrap it up. I'm back in on staph infection. I'm going bold here. Finishes top 10 this season.
God.
Still has Cooper Kupp. I know maybe he doesn't have Robert Woods on the opposite side or Odell Beckham in the slot for a few games. But I still think Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, this offense as a whole can get it done. They did try to make some improvements to that offensive line as well. If Stafford's healthy and fully ready to go, him and Cooper Kupp are still going to be able to kill it this year. I think the Rams as a whole are being a little bit slept on. Super Bowl hangover last year. A lot of people are just kind of moved on. I still think they have a pretty solid roster. They've obviously lost some pieces here and there, but I still think they'll be a competitive team. So give me Matt Stafford squeaking his way back into the top 10 as an old man.
He finished at 5 2 years ago.
Why not 10?
Why not?
Why?
Because he's old.
Even easier than finishing at 5.
He's not that old. We've seen Brady 8 years later than Stafford's age still put up numbers. So
he's just different.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's do today's sponsor before we get into the 49ers. Underdog Fantasy, easiest way to play fantasy football. You guys know this by now. Make sure you check out Underdog Fantasy. Best Ball Mania going on right now. They have a ton of weekly contests going on. They're coming out with new stuff this season as well, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to take a shot at Underdog Fantasy, all you have to do is sign up and use our promo code SUPERFB for a 100% deposit match up to $100. So if you deposit $100, get another $100 matched free. Again, promo code SUPERFB, SUPERFB. You can play online on the Underdog Fantasy app for iOS and Android, or sign up online at underdogfantasy.com. All right, let's do the Niners. Let's start with quarterback here in San Francisco. Kind of a ugly situation going on, I guess you could say. Who would you even prefer to start for fantasy purposes on this team? Brock Purdy, Trey Lance, or maybe even Sam Darnold?
Okay, why even add Sam Darnold?
It was a joke. Trey Lance, Brock Purdy, where do we stand?
Obviously Trey Lance I think is more skilled. I wouldn't really want to touch Brock Purdy, even though he had, I think he had 3 top 10 finishes in the span that he was playing, but he doesn't have the running ability that Trey Lance has. I don't even know what ability Trey Lance has because we've only seen him for like half a game, if even that. But
in the swamp too.
You'd think that Trey Lance is better than Brock Purdy.
You would think. I don't know if he is. Yeah, Purdy looked pretty good. I don't know.
Not against us. Oh,
well, okay, all right.
Stinky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question, honestly.
I would take Sam Darnold over Brock Purdy. But that doesn't matter because it's not between them. Okay, Brock Purdy's so good.
All right, nah, I think they're like essentially the same, just like mid-game managers. So like, I don't think it's like a major difference either way there. I think Brock Purdy definitely got overhyped this past season with everything going on. I do think he would keep this offense relatively stable. I wouldn't want him for my fantasy quarterback at all if they decide to rock with Purdy. But I would prefer Trey Lance in general. He may take a little bit longer to kind of get on the same page with like the passing offense and keep the same guys going. Trey Lance is definitely someone I would target more in general in terms of like quarterback fantasy points, but I think Purdy would keep it relatively status quo. They'd really just rely on the run, rely on McCaffrey, and then maybe even like keep Debo and Ayuk moving the same as well. Good question in the chat. Funny username as well. If Lance is announced a starter, would you drop CMC down in the draft at all?
No.
Nope.
I don't think so. I think it would hurt his pass catching ability just a little bit, just because there will be times where maybe Purdy would have got in trouble and dumped it off to McCaffrey. Whereas if Lance gets in trouble, he might decide to use his legs instead of dumping it off. But grand scheme of things, CMC is still CMC.
He's going to get his regardless.
Maybe like, if anything, like I would move Eckler up one spot over him, and that I don't think I would do that. I think I would still take CMC over him. So I don't think it would have changed it too much for me. Still think they're going to use him a ton. They're going to want to get him 20 plus touches a game. Easy. So yeah, Trey Lance for me personally. Moving on to the weapons for this offense. George Kittle remains an elite tight end option, but is he worth the headache? He finished tight end 3 this past season, but that was due to his best touchdown season yet, scoring 11 after never going higher than 6 touchdowns in his career prior to that. And he also had 7 of his 15 games where he scored 7.7 fantasy points or fewer. Is he truly worth the ADP of tight end 4 right now, 62nd overall? What do you think?
Probably not.
Kinda. I think he kind of is because his potential is so juicy, but like I said, I'm not reaching on any tight end. Like I always wait. So like the thought of him being on my team isn't even like a thing. But like he's going to win you at least like 2 games a season. Like he can be very good.
Clearly, Brock Purdy makes these players better. He's not that great, but he has made Christian McCaffrey better. Debo better, Kittle. He played with Kittle most of the end of the season. So if Brock Purdy's the starter, then I would agree with that ADP. But personally, there may be a couple guys, maybe like one guy to take over.
Mark Andrews?
Well, if he's at 4, maybe Goddard, but maybe. Probably not.
Yeah, I was just trying to paint the picture the other way. I'm still taking Kittle at that spot. Tight end's so shallow, and Kittle may have had 7 down weeks, but he also had 8 up weeks where he did enough to finish tight end 3. Tight end's pretty shallow in the first place. If you can get a tight end that even 5 or 6 weeks out of the season is getting you 20 plus points, 15 at least, I'm taking it.
His down weeks are basically better than like 99% of the other tight ends after him, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, like tight ends like get like 8 to 10. Kittle had games of 21 last year, 24, 27, 30. Like those are weeks where Kittle's almost winning you that week single-handedly, as long as the rest of your team is showing up to some degree. So yeah, I'm fine taking Kittle where he's getting taken, honestly, maybe even a little bit sooner than 62nd overall. All right, let's move on to the battle of Debo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk. It continues. Debo was wide receiver 3 in 2021, where Ayuk was wide receiver 35. That flipped this past season. Debo missed 4 games, finished wide receiver 40. Ayuk finished as wide receiver 15. How did you rank these two, and which one do you prefer this upcoming season?
Oh, boy. I definitely prefer Debo.
Yeah. I'm not too high on either of them, though.
Me neither. I never really was.
I have Debo at 21 and Ayuk at 30. So
I also have Debo at 21, and Ayuk I have at 31.
I'm a little bit higher on Debo than you guys at 18. I have Ayuk at 32. About the same spread for all of us, though. Debo, mid to low end wide receiver 2, where he's currently being drafted. Ayuk, more of a mid-level flex. I think that's fair. I think Debo's upside is still way higher, and obviously missing 4 games brought his points down last year, and obviously he was a little bit up and down, taking some of that rushing ability away. We kind of expected that he wasn't going to be that wide receiver 3 again, but I think he still has the explosiveness to break any play off for a touchdown. I think he's still the more explosive player, better, going to be more of the volume guy there. So I personally still prefer Debo well over Ayuk at this point.
I might take back what I said about Purdy making everyone better, because clearly Debo was on a bit of a slump besides the injury. And obviously Christian McCaffrey is going to take away from his rushing ability. So that's probably another reason why I'm not too high on him. And Ayuk is just like so up and down. He's good when he's on, but it's not always on.
Nope.
Yeah, this offense is going to be one you kind of have to figure out throughout the season. So we will definitely be talking about both of these guys quite often. But yeah, I think both have value for sure. I think this offense is still going to be one that's worth having parts of. It's just a matter of where you're taking them and what value you can get from that. So I still like Debo more, but Ayuk at 32, 31, if his ADP is around there, honestly might be worth grabbing around there still as your flex with wide receiver 2 upside. So let's do some cap or no cap before we do our bold takes favorite targets. Starting with this one, Christian McCaffrey should no longer be considered injury prone and should be the unanimous number 1 overall pick in redraft leagues this season. Cap or no cap?
I feel like it's been so long. It's only been one season since he had the injuries, and now we're already past it. But I forgot, but I would say no cap. They use him correctly in San Francisco. Little switch with Eli Mitchell here and there keeps him clean.
Yeah, I don't know if I can say no cap for unanimous number 1.
Oh,
Justin Jefferson is very good at football as well, and I know running backs come at a premium, and I think throughout the offseason, people are going to realize that Christian McCaffrey is one of the higher value running backs still in the league, where it's kind of thin at the elite running backs at this point, where the last few years, maybe it hasn't been so thin. It felt like you could get a solid RB1 at RB8, RB9, but it feels like there's a bigger gap now between those guys. So I think McCaffrey's going to move up in his ADP, but Jefferson still.
That was my point
for me.
That was my point for my like bold take. I'm just gonna say it now since we're like talking about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's that CMC should be the 101 because like J Jeff, like I wouldn't look at you weird if you did take J Jeff like first overall, but there's just like the gap between like the elite running backs and like the RB2s is like much bigger, I feel, than like the best of the best wide receivers to like the wide receiver 2s.
Just between RB1 and RB2, there's even though I love Eckler, there's still a gap between McCaffrey and Eckler than there is Justin Jefferson and like Chase or
right.
Cup.
Yeah, exactly. I'd agree with that. We just talked about Cup also being just as good. So yeah, I think it's McCaffrey, Eckler, and then there's a big drop off. I mean, Eckler this past season had 375 points. RB4, Derrick Henry had 305. So that's 70-point difference right there. If you go down to like RB8, RB9, it's over 130 points. So
that's insane.
And McCaffrey was only right behind him, 17 points. And I think he did end up missing one of those games as well. And I think Eckler won't have as great of a season. So CMC has a pretty high ceiling, obviously. And as long as he's healthy, he's CMC. So I could see the argument for sure.
And Justin Jefferson's already guaranteed a stinker week 2 because he plays the Eagles on prime time this year.
Yeah, keep that one in your back pocket, people. Don't forget it. All right, last cap or no cap. Eli Mitchell should be the first drafted handcuff off the board this season.
Slight cap. I forget who I just had in my head that. Oh, there's a couple that I would consider being a little more important. Zach Charbonnet, Jaylen Warren, and I already forgot his name again. Come back to me.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to say Cap as well.
Sorry, and Jamal Williams.
Yeah, and even the Lions running backs, if you want to consider one of them the handcuff.
Yeah.
A.J. Dillon as well. There's a lot of guys that are solid handcuffs, and if Eli Mitchell was guaranteed healthy, sure, I would probably rank him as the highest ranked handcuff because when we've seen him healthy, he can also put up ridiculous numbers. But he has been arguably more injury prone than McCaffrey in his short career, where he's barely able to stay on the field every week. It feels like he's questionable. He's able to get through a game, and then the next game he's out and whatever. So I don't think he's the most stable handcuff in the first place. I think if you draft McCaffrey, obviously you're targeting him, but in the grand scheme of things, I don't think he should be the first handcuff.
Yeah. Let's go either way. All considered health.
Yeah. So it sounds like T-God's already gave us bold take. McCaffrey should be 1-1 no matter what. Q, you agreed with that as well?
Yep. I'm riding T-Gods.
Yeah. I think pause. I think I will wrap it up then for the Niners here. I'm going to go bold. I already had Debo higher than you guys, so I might as well double down. Debo is going to finish as wide receiver 1 again this season.
Oh my God, no freaking way.
Top 12. Maybe a little bit spicy. Obviously not
very spicy.
The running back, but I think in the grand, like if you're thinking about the 49ers offense where he was last year, obviously he missed 4 games, wide receiver 40, not that great. He did still have some big games there. If they get some consistency at the quarterback position, I still think he's going to be the number 1 target here. Him and Kittle, I guess 1A and 1B, where Ayuk's still number 2 in my mind. Debo's so explosive. Any game he can take that 80 yards down the field easy. They're gonna want to get him involved, and obviously if for God forbid any reason McCaffrey goes down or anything, Debo becomes extremely more valuable if he's on the field. So yeah, Debo, I like his upside this year. I still think he has the talent to be a top receiver. So I'm taking the shot. Top 12.
I was going to say some very spicy takes, but I don't know if I could believe it myself. I was going to say wherever Hollywood finishes, just based on NFC West receivers, I would see Debo right around there.
Wow. Hater on Debo. That's crazy.
Disrespectful.
Because I was like, okay, we got Cooper Kupp, we have DK, Lockett, and Jigba, and then just Debo in Hollywood. Running back at wide receiver. Not my type of coffee.
Nah, they're going to keep him involved. He's too elusive, too electric to not be a part of this offense. He was banged up, but he still had some major games last year where I could see.
And he's a crybaby.
Maybe a little bit of a crybaby, but that's okay for me. As long as he's putting up fantasy points. We shall see what happens with Debo. We did get one question from Gator, so might as well read it out. Let's get it over with. Would you rather have Stafford or Brock Purdy this season as your quarterback?
3-2-1.
Stafford.
Yeah, come on.
Come on, Gap. Get with the program here.
We should have all said Purdy, so then he'll draft him.
Yeah, we should. Gap.
He
Purdy.
still might.
Low key. He'll take him for leverage.
Yep. Don't.
All right, let's do some trivia before we get out of here, Q. What do we have on the docket today?
Another day without Connect Four because I'm a busy man. But we have another list, and with just 2 of you, we could fly through this. It's not too difficult.
Yeah, right.
Even being on this end of it.
We're flying.
Okay. All right, let's fly through it then.
Matt slowed us down.
Yeah, he did.
If you're watching, Matt, you slowed us down. Sorry.
All right, so what's the order? Just one round of rock, paper, scissors?
No. Sean can go.
All
right, whatever. Works for me. The first 2 were usually easy anyways. Depending on the category.
Wait. Q, who did we bet last week? I said Gino finishes over someone. Oh, Kirk.
Yeah.
Go Gino.
Okay. All right, I'm ready.
That's impossible. So this
last year.
This list, there are 28 names, and it is to name the most playoff receiving yards since 2017. So there are wide receivers, there are tight ends.
Playoff receiving yards since 2017. Least, most to the least in the top 20 or whatever.
I believe it is in order.
Okay.
And yeah, there's only tight ends and wide receivers.
We don't have to say it in order though, right?
Is it in a single game?
No, just throughout the playoffs, throughout their careers since 2017.
So like teams that have made the playoffs a lot in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
That's basically. I didn't really think of it that way. That's basically what it is.
All right.
Except for one guy. I don't know why.
I'll go first. Give me
fuck,
Travis Kelce.
Yes, he is number 1.
Too easy.
I don't know if this is in order, but hold on, let me get the pen. All right, Travis.
Okay.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill's number 2.
Give me Zach Ertz.
Zach Ertz is on there.
Yes,
Devontae
sir.
Adams.
Devontae Adams is on there.
Good pull. Deebo Samuel?
Debo is on there.
Surprise.
Diggs.
Diggs is on there. Number 3.
Higgins. T. Higgins.
T. Higgins is on there.
I'm surprised.
I'm not. They make the playoffs.
Yep, some of the other names are on there.
Around him.
See, come on. It's too early for me to be like.
Yeah, you've already stumped way too early.
It's pressure. It's pressure, dude.
Yeah, you got to think about like the teams that have been in the playoffs.
But you can just spit out any name. The first thing that comes to mind.
Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. Sorry, I lied.
Yeah,
Keenan Allen's
Chargers.
not on there.
Chargers always miss the playoffs, unfortunately.
How?
I know every year you're like, yo, they could be like Super Bowl contenders, and then they miss the playoffs. Give me DK Metcalf.
DK is on there.
That was a risky one. Since 2017, this is like I'm trying to think of like every team that's been like very good and like who else they could have had.
There's only like 3 guys where you have to like it'd be an immaculate pull. The rest are all like okay, maybe 4 guys.
Do we have all the tight ends already? Kelsey and Ertz?
No. There are
Okay.
2 more tight ends.
Got it.
Sorry, 3 more tight ends.
Is Gronk one of them?
Gronk is on there.
Yeah, I was
But
about
he's
I
number
literally
4.
just
Yeah,
wrote
yeah,
that
yeah.
down after I asked that question. All right, give me. I feel like Jamar Chase isn't on there yet. Give me Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd not on there.
Shit. Bengals aren't that good.
Mark Andrews.
Mark Andrews, not on there.
Ooh, that was a good guess. Give me DeAndre Hopkins.
No. DeAndre Hopkins
What?
is not on there.
I thought he
Dude,
snuck
we're
in a
not
couple
even like
times
a
with
third of the
D-Wop.
way done. How
The
like
amount of obvious names that are being missed.
they're obvious to you?
No.
Yeah,
these
you're
are
looking at
obvious
the
names.
list.
These would be the first guys that come to my brain.
You
Stop.
swear to God, I'm making one of these next week.
Please.
I'm making one, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, I don't know."
2 guys.
I mean, if DK's on there, you lock it.
Rocket is on there.
Yeah, good pull. That was obvious.
High game.
That's stupid for me to even think that. Alshon Jeffrey,
Alshon Jeffrey's on there.
Birds playoff run,
Wow.
baby.
Okay, this is a long shot, but he did pop off in like one game. Gabe Davis.
Gabe Davis is on there. That was one of the immaculate pulls.
Immaculate pull, T-Gods.
Hell yeah.
Amari Cooper.
Amari
Ooh,
Cooper
he's got to be on there.
is not on there.
And this is the complete list, so I don't think they missed anybody compared to the last list.
I'll double check later.
What are you going to look up? Oh, I guess most receiving yards since 2017 in the playoffs.
Okay. Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas is on there. And he's taking the lead.
Brandon Cooks.
Hold on, Michael Thomas.
He
Brandon Cooks is on
he has to be on.
He had to be on there. He's on like every playoff team.
So there are 2 tight ends left. The rest
2?
are all receivers. Yes.
Okay. How many are there left total?
tight
Like
ends.
6?
Out of
28, there are 1, 2,
Oh my God, there's
3,
28. I thought it was 21.
5, 6, 7, 14. So we're halfway done.
There's a lot of guys left.
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans
Great.
is on there.
How did I not think of him?
You might as well go the other one, Sean.
I might go the other one. Antonio Brown.
Ooh.
Tony Brown's not on there.
No way.
Chris Godwin.
No, he's not on.
No.
Yeah, Antonio Brown not being on there's cat. He had to be in there like 2017. Like, was he still on the Steelers then?
I feel like that was
He
his
did go kinda
last.
crazy. All right, Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Cup's on there.
Oh
Number
my
5.
God, duh.
I know.
Did we say Ayuk?
No, do you want to say Ayuk?
I would love to say Ayuk.
I wish you didn't because he's not
Okay.
up there.
Cool. He was on my list. I just crossed him off. Give me Robert Woods.
Robert Woods is on there. Really? Still 2 tight ends. And there's
2
still
tight
plenty of
ends.
obvious names left.
I'm writing down names.
Goddard?
So you got Goddard's on there.
That's crazy.
He squeaked on there.
Squeaked. Must have squeaked by the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, because number 28 definitely squeaked on there. He's 27.
All right. Give me Julio Jones.
Yes, Julio's on there. Neck and neck game. Hey guys, if you want a hint, don't listen
No.
to anything.
No, I don't
Sean
want
previously
anything.
said, because I know you guys will never guess him again because Sean said something.
Okay, I don't know how many times he's been in the playoffs, but he was very good. Odell.
Odell's not on there.
Okay, I didn't think so, but it was worth a shot.
Julian Edelman.
Yes.
Brady's and Edelman.
Adam Thielen.
Adam Thielen's on there.
Ooh, good pull.
Ooh, thanks.
You got said Diggs earlier, right?
Yes.
Let me go ugly one.
Oh God,
Cole Beasley.
he's on there.
Yeah.
That is ugly. I feel like
Ugly.
he's one of the other immaculate bulls because I don't remember him playing in any playoff games.
Just like the Cowboys couple playoff games, and then he was on
Yeah.
the Bills. So I was like, he had to have gotten some yardage here and there.
I could get uglier, but there's no way he's on the list. But he's been in the playoffs, like, had to have been every year of his career. I'll say it, Chris Hogan.
no.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but dude, like,
That is ugly.
he's had
Yeah.
to have played in like, bro, like,
Did CeeDee Lamb squeak in there?
Mm-mm.
Damn.
You guys are down tools
I
too,
think I
so
have
maybe
another
start getting risky.
hey
There
man,
are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys left.
it's not a competition.
6 guys left, 2 tight ends,
One tight
One
end.
Tight end, one
5
tight
wide
end,
receivers.
one tight end.
Yeah, what's Goddard was said? You said Goddard. And I think it's your turn, Sean.
No, I think it's 2 guys.
Who the hell is the tight end?
Yeah, I don't know. I need to look at like all the teams. Q, I'm pulling up NFL team logos so I can remember teams that exist. No, I'm not cheating.
Who's the tight end that's
If this guy we get stumped on, I have the most obvious hint.
I ain't stumped yet. I still got guesses to throw out there.
And there still are some 3 of the wide receivers are still playing. Actually, I need to confirm the 4th one.
I'm just trying to think of who's always in the playoffs, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of
you got to go
three-
look at the teams. It's helping me.
3 of the receivers are still current. 2 of them are retired or free agents. And the tight- Larry Fitz is not on there.
I was going to throw him out there later. Thank God. Golden Tate.
No. Oh my God, you guys are gonna start
What?
getting ugly. Then you'll be pissed when I say 2 of these names,
I ain't that pissed yet.
3 of these names.
Who did they even have? Like, no. Whatever. I'm going to write the name down just in case I run out of guesses.
T.Y. Hilton.
Ty is not on there.
You might have been washed by 2017. Just kidding. He
No way. Come on, man.
One hint is that 2 of the players on this list are in this division,
Okay.
and not
Mhm.
Cooper Kupp, as we said him.
In this division currently. Now you're hurting my brain.
And they're both currently
Higbee.
No,
I was going for that one tight end.
It was a good guess.
I know you have one better.
Oh, maybe. Doubtful. Maybe. Perhaps.
We had so you said Kittle, right?
No, that wasn't said. Do you want to say Kittle?
Yeah,
Kittle's on there. That's the last tight end.
Dude,
No.
how
did we
did-
skip Kittle?
Still one player in this division. And
Q.
that was the last tight end.
When Q says shit like that, it gets me so honed in on looking for one player.
I know, that's
I'm
why
thinking
Yeah,
about the
I'm
rest.
ignoring that. I'm just,
Darren Waller.
No, there was no more tight ends.
he said,
He
go
did
again.
say
He said
that,
there
and I
was no
just
more
guessed
tight
Darren
ends.
Waller. I was about to guess Dalton
You were
Schultz.
dying to guess Darren Waller.
Dude, the Cowboys always lose their first playoff games. Don't guess any more
I
Cowboys.
know. I'm done with them. Oh, man. Who else makes the playoffs?
There's only one
Playoffs?
immaculate pull left.
Playoffs?
Dude, I'm trying to think someone on a certain team, but I can't think of anyone else except for one bowl. I said them already.
One of these guys are white. Actually, the only guy is white that left on this list. Well,
There's only one. Since
there's
when was there only
one
one
white-
person left,
No, sorry. There's only one white guy on this list left.
and it's not Chris Hogan.
No,
And he's doubling down on Chris Hogan. He might have been out of the league in like 2019.
Yeah, but he played in like 6 playoff games in those like 2-3 years.
Yeah, true. White guy. Who the hell is white?
If
Oh,
I get
white-
a
Is
hint,
that the
Chris
immaculate
Hogan.
pull?
No, but
Oh.
he's no. You said Chris Hogan. He's more
Hey,
relevant.
I
Chris
have an
Hogan.
ugly name that I might throw out there.
Go ahead, throw it out.
Oh, I have names to throw out in general.
Oh,
Corey Smith.
No,
I was gonna guess him, but like he was like done after like.
I know. I'm literally just throwing out.
if you
names
said
at this point.
if you said Chris Hogan, you could say this guy.
All right, Scotty Miller.
No, he's not. This guy's not playing anymore.
Scotty Miller was a good guess. A white guy who's not playing anymore.
All right, screw the white guy.
They have played with Chris Hogan.
Wes Welker?
No,
Give
they
me
have played with Wes Volker.
Give me Juju Smith-Schuster.
Not Juju.
I already said Edelman. If you're inferring Edelman.
They have played with Edelman.
Oh God, who is this man? Juju's not on the list. I'm
No.
pissed.
Are you sure it's not Chris Hogan, dude?
It's not.
Come on.
He's like third in line between Welker and Edelman. Or after.
Oh, I got him.
Who?
Eric Decker.
No, what the? He played with that's every guy that you just named, except for Eric Decker.
Dude.
Why can't I think of this guy? Is he obvious?
Yes, especially as you named all of his teammates. Chris Hogan, Wes Volker, Julian Edelman. You can't name the last guy.
No.
I
cannot.
can't either.
I cannot.
What?
Gadget Bull, sorta.
Oh, you
Also
make me think of like
Played on the
Braxton
Rams.
Berrios.
Also, he's
Oh, okay. I got it now.
Say,
Danny
well,
Amendola.
yes. God.
Jeez.
All right, he's like the random one of the bunch though. He was
Is
not
there
nearly as
someone-
good
Chris
as.
Hogan's not random.
All right,
Is
Chris
there
Hogan is.
someone from the Saints left?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought someone might have been in there too.
One of these
How many we
players
left?
still playing this division.
Four.
And one of these players you would guess if Sean didn't say earlier he couldn't be on this list.
What?
There was a guess, but before you said a name, you said he couldn't be on this list. So I knew that you guys would never come back to him because it's like a brain
I
thing.
don't remember what I said. Like I don't
It was like
remember that at all.
really close at the beginning.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
He's on the list.
Yeah, he's number 6.
I had him written down like the whole time, and he's the only one I didn't guess. Like just left him blank.
All right, long shot, but I know he's playing a bunch of playoff games. I don't know when he stopped being relevant, but Randall Cobb.
No, I thought you were about to say that this guy's name.
Jordy Nelson.
No. These only one guy of these 3 are not playing. The other 2 are. One of them are in this division. One of them are in a division we already spoke about.
In this division. Hollywood Brown.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
He's number 28. He's the one who just squeaked in.
Wow, he really squeaked in. All right, so how many we got left? 3?
2.
2 left. One's a random bull, or one's a retired bull.
Yes. Could be a free agent, but probably should retire.
Shut up, pups. I'm thinking. All right. Q, give us some teams because we're dragging on with the dogs in the background.
One played for the Ravens, Bills. Oh, what else? Who else he played for?
That's fine. Who else?
Played for the Ravens last, and well, this one's going to be obvious when I say it. This guy's playing for the Eagles, the Titans.
AJ Brown.
Wow.
How do we not guess him? He's elite. He's so good. All right, so that one. So there's only one left now. The one that played for the Ravens or the Bills.
He
And he was
probably
most recently
played
with the
for
Ravens.
someone else.
And he's
No,
retired.
it's probably he drafted by the Bills. Last team played for the Ravens. I can't think of who he's played in between.
Last team he played for was the Ravens. Who did they just have that was like washed up?
Oh, he's played for the Chiefs.
Sammy Watkins.
Yes.
Wow.
He was nice with the Bills when he was the young ball. 28 wide receivers. We
I consider
didn't
that a win
need
because
Matt.
you guys
We got
got the
them all.
immaculate pulls without the hints.
Yeah, I'll take that. Although we missed a couple obvious ones. Can't believe we've missed AJ Brown.
I know.
Not as bad as forgetting Golden Tate. Never forget the Tate incident. God, you're lucky. I don't think you were there.
No, I think he was.
I am pretty sure I was there.
Was he?
Just gotta watch the TikTok.
Oh, how did we? None of us know it then. I was like expecting you guys to like be able to know it because me and Matt were ass. I need to see it again real quick before I wrap the podcast. Gator
Oh my
also
God.
showed up at 6:46.
Hell yeah, Gator.
Well, thanks for sliding through, Gat. Greatly appreciate it. I told you, T-Gods wasn't there.
No way.
It's pinned on our TikTok. Go watch it. If you
I'm
haven't seen the
surprised.
clip, go watch it. Actually, don't go watch it. It's embarrassing for me and Matt. Trying to name all the teams Golden Tate's been on, and we forgot the Eagles. Unreal. All right.
I may have been his last team that time too.
Yeah, I know. It was like relevant too. Like he was just on the Eagles. That was like 2 years ago. That is a wrap for the NFC West. We will be back 2 more episodes again next week, breaking down the NFC South to round out all of the NFC teams already. Make sure you follow us on all platforms so you don't miss anything Super Fantasy Bros related. Also on Threads now, new platform, basically Twitter. Follow us there as well, trying to get some more followers on the new social media. Didn't see that coming. Make sure to take advantage of our sponsors. Helps us out a ton. Obviously, Underdog Fantasy, we mentioned earlier this episode, promo code SuperFB, and Fanatics, top link in our bio. If you're looking to get some football merch or anything of the sort, use our link. Helps us out a ton. And additionally, make sure you follow the Old City Sports Network. Ton of other great podcasts to listen to. If you're local to the Philly area, you will definitely enjoy a lot of the podcasts here. Great sponsors in the area as well. Check them out. See you guys next week. Peace out.